It's the Screensavers.
Look out.
Well, one of the newest people at the Screensavers is our beloved executive producer, Paul Block. And he said to us, we know of a computer in need of an upgrade. And, well, when he said that, I think we figured maybe we should do something about it. So we sent Yoshi out to Paul's house to say hi to Gila, Paul's wife, and find out what needed to be done and do a complete upgrade on the system. And now we have the whole gang. Sheila Lane is here, Yoshi, and who is this, Sheila?
Lucky Lalapougie.
Lucky Lalapougie. Very nice animal. Very sweet. So, Sheila, what was wrong with your PC?
Slow.
Slow is wrong.
I kept getting Dr. Watson letters.
Yeah, that's from crashing, yeah.
And I do graphics on it.
Right. Beautiful artwork, by the way. I love your art.
Thank you. And so I was running out of space very quickly.
Mm-hmm. How old was that computer? There's a picture,
5.
by the way. So that's a photograph that you did, yeah?
That's that's from Paris.
But you also work on your photographs on the computer.
Yes,
and
I do, in Photoshop, Painter, and a few
really
other
neat
programs.
stuff.
Yes.
So Yoshi, you actually went over and took a look at it, or did you bring it over here?
I went to her house and looked at it.
Okay.
Sheila told me she likes to do a lot of video editing too, and
man,
need a little more power for that, a little more hard drive space.
Right. So you went inside and performed brain surgery. So what is it that you put in there?
Everything but the floppy and the CD-ROM.
A complete upgrade. Let's take a look at Yoshi and the brain surgery.
Today we're going to be doing a complete upgrade on a system. Motherboard, processor, hard drive, RAM, new burner, new power supply. So basically we're going to be stripping all this old stuff out because it's all getting replaced. So this is all the old stuff. We are going to be keeping a couple of components. The SCSI card, the network adapter, and the modem. Everything else, out. We're going to be putting the motherboard in. One thing you want to make sure is that you line up all your screw holes with the supports in the case. Now I'm sure they're all lined up, I'm just going to go ahead and fasten everything down. We're going to be putting an AMD Athlon processor in. We want to make sure our pins are lined up properly. Two sides have a corner on them, so it'll only go in one way. It's a zero insertion force socket, which means no force. No force. Lift that up like that. Verifying our pins. Verifying them on the socket. Just drops in. Feel around the edge, make sure everything's down smoothly. Just hold it in place and voila. With our heatsink, make sure you pull off the tab, exposes your heatsink compound. One side of the heatsink is larger than the other. Make sure the gap on the heatsink corresponds to the raised section on the socket. Line up one side of the clip first, push that on like that. Using as little force as possible, we want to push the other side of the clip down. We have an IBM 75 gigabyte hard drive. We will be putting 2 of these in. Right now I'm just going to put the first one in, show you how we get it hooked up. It's very important that your screws go in easily, no force. With the memory, make sure your pins are aligned properly with the motherboard. This is our video card. It's going to go in our AGP slot. Just line it up with your slot, push into place. I'm going to slide in all the rest of our peripherals. We're putting the power supply in now. I've chosen a power supply with 2 fans. I call it the Russ Pitts model. We like lots of cooling. It's a 350 watt power supply, so we'll have more than enough power. Intake fan is going to draw air across the motherboard and out. Floppy cable, make sure you align your red pin with pin 1. If you're not sure where pin 1 is, look in your motherboard manual and it'll tell you. Your IDE cables have a locator that'll go in the slot corresponding on the motherboard. Helps you out there. Okay, we're hooking the CD-ROM and our burner up here on the same IDE chain. You want to make sure Your burner is set as the master, and your CD-ROM is set as the slave. Now we're going to be installing all of our connectors from the case to the motherboard. Most motherboards are labeled which pin goes in which location. If they're not labeled there, your motherboard manual will have a diagram for you. To recap what we've done here, we've taken the case, gutted the old components except for the floppy, CD-ROM, SCSI card, NIC, and modem. We've installed a 350 watt dual fan power supply, a 16 by 10 by 40 burner, two 75 gigabyte hard drives, a 1.2 gigahertz Athlon chip, 768 megabytes of RAM, and an Asus A7V motherboard.
Do you think you got enough RAM in there, Yoshi? 768 megabytes.
You can never go wrong with RAM, and like Patrick says, the prices are low now, so might as well get as much as you can fit.
Now, with that much RAM, I'm guessing you're not running Windows 98.
2000.
You got to run 2000 with more than 512, otherwise it's going to choke on you. And what other software did you put inside?
Well, since Sheila does video editing, we set her up with Premiere, Photoshop, Illustrator, After Effects, Poser, and of course Office and some other.
Have you figured out how to use all that stuff yet?
No.
That's a lot to learn, my goodness. And is it working okay?
It's working so fast now.
Oh, that's great.
I have to set my mouse for slow.
Yeah, I bet. It's a big jump when you go from an older machine to something that fast. I noticed you put a 16X burner in there. What brand name did you?
Plexter.
Of course. Nothing but, they gave you nothing but the best.
I have no idea what went into it. I'm definitely a right brain person.
Right. As long as it works.
Yeah.
You're happy with
great.
it. How much do we spend on that upgrade?
I think we came in just a little over 2,000.
See, that's not bad. I mean, you're getting really top of the line all the way. That's as good as a new computer.
I know. But now I have to really sell my art.
Yeah, you got to get serious about it. BrooklynBornFilms.com.
Yeah, that's
and
the
eventually, now
website.
there's not a link there yet, but there will be a link to your art there.
It will go to GilaLane.com,
Okay, and that's what you're working
which
on.
right now says under construction and
Like most of the web.
yeah.
GilaLane.com. Cool. Yoshi, you did a great job.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Thank you, Yoshi.
Thank you, Yoshi.
Yeah, thank you, Sheila. And thank you, Pooji. You were very good the whole time. Go ahead, give me a kiss. Coming up, be sure to check out Sheila's work at an open studio in San Francisco, October 20th and 21st. Coming up on the Screensavers, the skinny on flat panel monitors. You stay right here.